the fish tank guy store here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, showing off my 155-gallon bow front window display tank. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell alert to get alerts when I post interesting videos like this. Fish tanks for sale, cool fish tank related accessories, fish adoptions here at the Fish Tank Guy store in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I've had this tank 9 years now this past May. This was a previous Fish Tank store's display tank. It is an Aquarion, or better known as all glass aquarium. 155-gallon bow front tank. This tank has been discontinued now quite a few years. It's kind of hard to find them used, and you don't find them brand new no more in stores. And this is my store window display tank. This tank gets a lot of goo goo gaga eyes, people walking by staring at these fish, asking questions about these fish. This is one of my personal tanks here at the store, at the Fish Tank Guy store. It's predominantly all African cichlid peacocks and a few haps in here as well. Mostly everybody is from Lake Malawi, and 2 of them are from Lake Tanganyika. And I have quite a few catfishes and other oddball fishes from South America. And everybody is, oh, and by the way, predominantly they're all males. Well, the Africans for that matter. The catfishes I don't know and I don't care. But the peacocks and haps, predominantly they're all males. I believe there's 1 or 2 females in this tank. And when I know definitely that they are females, they're coming out. I don't want no females in here. They say when you keep all male Africans, their aggression level is a lot less. And as you can see, they're pretty tame. They're pretty calm for the most part. You know, every now and then is a little aggression from the trophiest, chasing somebody. But other than that, for the most part, I literally see no aggression. So a lot of them inside this tank are also adoptions. I got a lot of these fish for free. I got them with tanks that I bought. People have brought them to me, and or I've gone and picked them up. And let me get a little closer and describe some of the fishes that I do know by name and so forth, and also give you some descriptions of some of these adoptions of when I got them and so forth. So here we go. 155-gallon bow front. Being filtered by a Fluval FX6, just one filter. It has a 150-gallon UV sterilizer. You can see it right there to your left. It has 2 500-watt heaters. A little extra on the heaters because this tank is by the big window, and when it gets really freezing cold outside, I want to say like 17 degrees, 12 degrees outside, you know, that a lot of that coldness comes through that window, and the window tank gets a little cooler. So I have 2 500-watt heaters plugged into a heater controller, so it keeps a constant temperature. I believe it's 82 or 80 degrees. I believe it's 82. So there's a power head, like a circulating fan on the right side, just to keep a lot more water current, a lot more water movement. So there goes some descriptions for you. I have about 7 clown loaches. They come out from time to time. There's one that's literally always hiding behind that UV sterilizer. And there's usually like 3, 4, 5, 6 bunched up. Yesterday it was 6 bunched up. These are my Pictus spotted catfish. My distributor calls them polka dot spotted catfish. And another distributor years ago used to call them pick the spotted, so I got used to calling them pick the spotted. This is a rhino pleco. I bought this fish 4 years ago this past August. It was about an inch and a half big, and look, right now it's about 6 inches big. This is a living stony, a male living stony. This is my Tropheus. I got this Tropheus 4 years ago this past August. This is that fish that when it's really small, it has a lot of white dots, specks all over the body, and as it matures, it changes up and it gets this stripe on the body, on the side of the body. Pretty neat. This is a dragon blood, and this dragon blood right here was born here at the Fish Tank Guy store February 5th, 2018. This other dragon blood I bought from my distributor, and it looked so nice that I put it in this tank as well. This jewel fish right here is an adoption. I got him 4 years ago this past August. The guy that brought him to me he came all the way, I'm in Philadelphia, he came all the way from the Poconos in Pennsylvania, which is about 3 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, depending what part of the Poconos. But he couldn't find no local fish store in his area that would take in fish, that would adopt fish. And his wife Googled fish in Philadelphia, and the Fish Tank Guy came up right away. She called me up and asked if I take in fish, if I adopt fish. And I said, yes, all the time. What do you have? And when she said some kind of African, she wasn't sure what kind of African. I said, oh yeah, I love Africans. That's my favorite kind of fish nowadays. And she says, well, my husband will be in Philadelphia on Saturday. He can bring it to you. And sure enough, that Saturday, around 12:30 in the afternoon, her husband came into the store and he handed me this jewel fish. All the way, well, he's coming to Philadelphia for, I think, on business or to visit some family. So all the way from the Poconos, he brought me this jewel fish. And tons of people want to buy him. I had an opportunity to sell him this past summer for $100, but I really don't want to sell them. And I mean, it was tempting, but nope, don't want to sell them. And since then, I've actually gotten small ones, about 1.5 inches big, from my fish distributor. So when people keep bugging me, asking me, sell them my jewel fish, I'm like, no, but I have these small ones for $10. You can buy them. So that's the story on this jewel fish, this adoption. I believe it's a male because they got that nice hickey on the head, on the forehead, and that's a common trait for male cichlids. This frontosa right here, this awesome looking frontosa, he is an adoption from last year, August. Lots of people want to buy this frontosa. I don't want to sell them. Again, you know, when I adopt a fish and they come into my personal tank, they become my pets. They're family to me now, and I really, really don't want to sell them. And you know, someone made me an offer, $150 about a month ago, and I said no. And I really didn't want to sell them. I told them an astronomically high price, high number. Leave me alone. I don't want to sell them. But if you give me this much, of course, he said I was crazy, and I smiled at him. I said, well, I told you I don't want to sell them, so stop bugging me. Leave me alone. So that's my male frontosa story. Who else we got going on in here? Oh, right here, if you can see right there waving, that is a black ghost knifefish. I adopted this fish, I believe was this past April. And the guy brought him to me with an albino biter, African dragonfish. And he raised them both in I believe it was a 29 gallon. And, you know, he said, I know they're going to get bigger, or the biter is going to get bigger. They can get up to 2 feet long. And I don't have the space or the money for a bigger tank. And I want to try different fish, blah, blah, blah. So I adopted them. He gave them to me. And, yep, Don't want to sell it. People ask me all the time, and nope. I had a smaller one, maybe about 3 inches long. And one of my customers, lo and behold, which he comes through every couple of weeks, every other week or so, looking for interesting things to buy. And one of my customers just happened to have pictures on his phone of a ghost knifefish, and he's been looking for one for weeks. And every store that he goes to, nobody has one. Nobody has them. Nobody heard of them, so on and so on. And I just took a chance, and I was, getting some fish in right before Black Friday. And my distributor just happened to have them, and I started to order 3, and I said, let me just order one. They're kind of pricey. Let me order one just to try it out. And sure enough, I had one, and this guy was just blown away, excited. Oh my God, you got him! Oh, that. And I told him the price, and he was cool with that, and came the very next day and got him. And he is so super happy. He finally found one. So next time I do a fish order from my fish distributor, probably after the new year, if he has some ghost knife, then I will be getting some ghost knife. This OB right here, I bought that from my fish distributor. That's a large male. Oh, here go the bicher that I had adopted with that black ghost knife. That's my bicher, albino bicher, or African dragonfish. Neat fish. I just can't wait till that gets 12 inches long, 15 inches long. I hear they get a foot long, so I can't wait for it to get that long. And here you go. This striped Rafael catfish. It is about 4 to 5 inches long. This striped Rafael catfish I adopted this past summer, maybe around June, July. And it came out of a 125-gallon tank. But this striped Rafael catfish is 14 years old. The original owner told me that he's had them ever since he got into the fish hobby, like 14 years ago. And this fish has been moved. He started in a 20-gallon tank, and then, the guy just kept upgrading over the years. 20-gallon, he probably went to a 30-gallon. Then a 55-gallon, then a 75-gallon, and at the end, he had a 125-gallon tank. And this striped Rafael was inside that tank. I had adopted 23 fish from him this past summer. A bunch of umbunas. What else did I get from him? I got some type of Cynodon. Here you go, right here. This Cynodontis catfish came for that adoption. A red zebra African cichlid, a bumblebee African cichlid. I'm trying to think of everything that I got, and I believe it was a common pleco, maybe 2 common plecos. I believe there were, and I got 3 African leaf fish as well. They all came. They all got, I have 2 of the African leaf fish in here now. Everybody else, I have a few leftover umbunas. Pretty much everybody else got sold. This striped Rafael catfish, 14 years old. And I was really, really reluctant to want to sell them. I was just scared that, perhaps a not so much experienced hobbyist would have bought them, did some kind of rookie move, a big water change or something, no heater or something, and kill this guy. And I would have been heartbroken to hear something like that. So the story goes that I had similar one, striped Raphaels, same exact, about the same size that I had bought 4 years ago this past summer. And I bought him, I got him from my distributor, so he was about 1.5 inches long. And I raised him for the last 4 years. And the last 4 years, he got this big. And what has me baffled is the guy tells me this one is 14 years old. And I'm like, wow, he's only gotten that big in 14 years? I had another striped Raphael years ago that I got from this lady. It was about 7 inches long. And she said she had him for like 8, 9 years. That was a nice size. I regretted selling that one, but Everything's for sale if the price is right. So that one went. So, along with the story of the striped Rafael catfish right here, I had him in another tank. I had him in my room divider tank at the time, and a really good customer this past summer was interested in buying him. But he was really reluctant because he was like, wow, he's 14 years old. Who knows how much longer he's going to live, blah, blah, blah. You know, I hate to spend that much money. And, you know, he dies like a week later, a month later, a year later. And I can relate. And like I said, I was really reluctant to want to sell him. So I told that customer, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a sweet deal. I'll sell you mine that I was guesstimating him at 4 or 5 years old, because I've had him 4 years, and he was, you know, about the same size, about 4.5, 5 inches. So I'll sell you mine, and I'll keep this one. I would feel a lot better keeping this one. And he went for it, and he bought my other one, which was this size. I didn't really want to sell him. He was, you know, in my personal tank, and but I didn't really want to sell this one either. I really didn't want two of the same kind. So now I got this one. And I got a cool story to say. He's 14 years old. How awesome is that? The striped Rafael. The talking catfish. Because when you take them out the water and they're in your net, they kind of croak a little bit. Almost like a frog. So they call them a talking catfish. See the ghost knife doing cartwheels. That's a really cool fish. The ghost knifefish. Just to see it swim backwards, you know, I was never really noticed or seen fish swim backwards, but to see the ghost knife doing that, it's just so cool. Oh, look at this. My true upside down catfish. Look at this right here. True upside down catfish. Swims upside down all the time. Eats upside down. Everything. And the crazy thing is that a lot of people have, you know, just a Synodontis catfish, which I have a nice size one here. I'm waiting for it to come out so I can show it to you. And a lot of times the Synodontis catfish swims upside down. Here you go. Here go my Synodontis catfish right here, trying to make an appearance. Now, you see my Synodontis right here is swimming upside down briefly. It's hiding behind the driftwood. It'll come out in a second, hopefully. And a lot of people get this confused and call a Synodontis catfish an upside down catfish. And even though the Synodontis catfish swims upside down sometimes, you know, periodically sometimes, but it doesn't swim upside down all the time. My upside down catfish swims upside down all the time. When I bought them from my distributor 4.5 years ago, yep, 4.5 years ago, my distributor called it a true upside down catfish, which I never heard, you know, I never seen in any other store a catfish called a true upside down catfish. But this one is a true upside, it swims upside down all the time. Oh my goodness. I love showing them off to people. Here you go. This is my Synodontis catfish right here. It came out for the camera. And you can see it's swimming regularly. But sometimes under this driftwood, next to this driftwood, it'll swim sideways, upside down for a while, for a little while. And people will see it and think it's an upside down catfish. But it's not. It's just a regular Synodontis catfish, or an African lace catfish, or a feather duster catfish. Those are the 3 common names. Here goes some of my clown loaches. I can't wait for these guys to get big. Oh man. There's 7 of them in here. I like to have 15. That's my goal, to have 15 in here. But you know, they're really, I don't know what's the word. I can't think of the word, but they're so delicate when they're little, when they're young. They get ick real easily. You know, I've had a lot of them. Young, died. I don't know why. You know, and man, I'm tired. So a lot of people say just try to find them a little bigger, and I am trying to find them bigger than this. And I'd be looking, seeing people that are selling tanks and they have clown loaches, and if they're like, I don't know, 5-6 inches big, I'm inquiring. I'm definitely asking, would you sell them separately? How much? And if it's within my price range, I'll buy them. Recently, there was a guy locally here in Philadelphia, posted it on Craigslist. The ad read 11 to 12 inch clown loach, $500. Whoa, $500. I've only seen a few full size, maxed out 12-inch clown loaches over the years. I've always wondered what they would sell them for. I would love a clown loach that big. I sure as heck don't want to pay $500 for a clown loach that big. Again, it's one of those, I'm putting myself in a customer's shoes. That's a lot of money to spend for a fish, not knowing how much longer they have to live and so forth. And, God forbid, fish die every day like we die. If they were to die, that'd be a $500 hurt piece right there. I made the guy an offer, but, they didn't go for it, so, oh well. But let me see what else I can show you here. Here goes some more clown loaches, are probably the same ones. This fish right here, this fish is an adoption. I got this fish January 2018. He was about, at the time, I want to say about 2.5, about 3 inches big. My customer that had him said that this guy was just being super aggressive towards everybody in his tanks. He kept switching them up from a 55 to a 75 with different fishes. At the time, his tank mates, he was with a green terror and I don't know, something else, a green terror and something else. And the guy thought he was a South American. When I got him, I just Googled, black cichlid, white spots, white specks on it. And right away he came up. And he's called I vaguely remember the name on Google, a tilapia, something like a 13-letter fish name or whatever. I honestly forgot. And when I read up on them, they said it was 2 species exactly the same, but one grew to about 5 inches big and the other one grew to about 10 inches big. And you can't keep them together because the bigger one will kill the smaller one. Now this one right here, to me,